All right, we are back for another edition. We were going to do a recap if everything went well. It did not go well. Georgia, of course, falls to Alabama. They get down a 23-point hole at halftime. Really, it was 28 to nothing at one point. Come back, take the lead, and then, of course, in the most Georgia way imaginable, they lose. Um, I guess there's two ways you can look at this, and I'll give you your time to talk about it. I we're 4 games into this season, and usually whenever like 2021, we kind of knew what this team could be. 2022, we knew what this team could be. 23, we did. Um, I don't know really anything about this team 4 games in. But I mean, that game against Alabama was a microcosm of what has been Georgia in 2024. Been really bad and then really good. And I don't know what team shows up. You can take away two things. I mean, even at the end of the game, I know Georgia lost, but it felt like we won the game just because we came back. Um, and that was a weird feeling because I've never felt that before, and I'm not one to take moral victories. And I really didn't because um, we can talk about a lot about Bobo. I and I know we probably might disagree on this. I thought Bobo had a decent game plan. Go look at the 3 plays on the opening drive for the offense. It was all there. And then look at the second half. I think it was Kirby Smart and Glenn Schumann who weren't prepared, and it showed. And you can say like, Georgia got out coached. How often does that happen? Not often. I have blind faith in Kirby to get that fixed. And it's more under a microscope because it's Alabama, and we all know the struggles against Alabama. Um, but this team, I have no idea what they can be, who they are. Are they a championship team still? Yeah, I think so. Every team is vulnerable right now. You saw it again. Alabama's vulnerable. There hasn't been really a team that
Ole
shown.
Miss.
Ole Miss, obviously. Every team is vulnerable. So, um, can they win a national championship? Absolutely. But a lot of things are going to have to be corrected for them to do that. So, you go ahead.
Um, well, I again, I found myself having to talk to myself at 53 years old while I'm laying in the fetal position Sunday morning, not even wanting to get out of bed. As I'm allowing 19 and 20-year olds to drive my emotions. With all that being said, I try to have some distance between. I didn't want to do this as a recap. I guess that you could say that's cowardly, but I was not in the emotional state. The further away from the game that I get, a couple things stand out to me. I disagree with you. I think this is the same thing that we saw early on last year. If this would have been South Carolina or which team's going to show up? Who is this team? Offensively, last year, even though it was sporadic, we had guys. Brock Bowers saved us several times. McConkey was effective enough. We had enough game changers, or guys that were go-to guys that would make an explosive play or that you could depend on. But to me, this is emblematic of I don't know, not being ready for the game, and that goes back to coaching. And I know Kirby talks about it all the time. It's not necessarily X's and O's, it's Jimmy's and Joe's. Well, showing up ready to play a game it is a little bit of a lot more than a little bit. It's more on the coaching. So I was sadly disappointed. They got absolutely Kirby Smart and Glenn Schumann and the defensive staff got caught flat-footed, and we got out coached in that first half. That there is absolutely no doubt in my mind that is the case. Now, do we have the talent? to be a force in the 12-game playoff. Yeah, I'm not out on this team, but there's some issues at Georgia, and we can all stick our head in the sand and act like they don't exist, but they do exist. If you tell me that on paper we got as much talent as Alabama, but we're 1-6 or Kirby's 1-6 against them, that's a problem. When you tell me there is nothing seemingly easy for this offense, nothing. I don't care. I'm not just talking in a vacuum of the Alabama game.
Yeah, no,
I'm
I get what you're
talking. I'm talking overall the last 2 seasons. It is a slog, and I'll be honest with you, man. There's a lot of me that feels really bad about saying this because I appreciate and respect what Bobo has done for the University of Georgia and how much he has meant to the University of Georgia. But at some point, we've got to start calling a spade, man. This offense, he's done the same thing when you had Stafford. We're talking about Heisman Trophy winner and how great Stafford was, best quarterback that's come through, and he has been. Look at his NFL career. He's Hall of Fame. But we never won a jack squat with him. And it's very similar to all those years, the year that we played Hawaii back whenever Bobo was offensive coordinator. And all those years, we were just never quite good enough. We were never, and then when Muckin came on board with a friggin' walk-on quarterback, we had shit that was wide ass open. And I get it. He brings a skill set, meaning Bennett. And I'm not just talking about the quarterback here, but we're missing – I don't know what the problem is. I don't get paid $13 million to figure out what the fucking problem is, right?
Yeah.
But there is a problem, and it needs to be fixed. And if I sound pissed, I'm fucking pissed. We talked about it all year long. Yeah. Georgia's starting to be the type of program that talks a lot of shit, and it's not the coaches and it's not the players. It is us. It's the fans. Shut the fuck up. What have we done? You can't beat Bama. 1-6. Revenge tour. Reason we come back. I'm tired of hearing that shit, man. I really am. And going into they should be pissed. I'm pissed as a fan. I really am pissed as a fan. We got out coached by a guy, and I respect what he's done. Meaning DeBoer. Every place he's been, he's won. He freaking comes in first SEC conference game and kicks the shit out of Georgia and out coaches them and outclasses them. And damn it, if that doesn't piss you off as a Georgia fan, I don't know what is. I'm fired up about it, and I was fired up about it, Saturday. I don't know. I don't know what this team is. Still don't know what this team is. But I know they got enough talent and they got enough resources to perform better than they have. If you look at it, Max, take Tennessee, and I've said this last week or whenever, I don't give a shit what it was, but whenever they played Tennessee Tech, take that out. We played three ball games of substance, and we have played maybe 4 full quarters of football. That's a problem, man. That is a problem.
Yeah.
Second half against Clemson and second half against Bama. Looked like shit against Kentucky for 4 quarters. Tennessee Tech, I don't give a fuck. That's what I'm pissed off about. And so, what do you do about it? I don't know. You suck it the hell up and you get your shit ready to go, because I guarantee you, Hugh Freeze in Auburn, Hugh Freeze is always giving Kirby Smart's defenses trouble, and I anticipate the same thing. You add on to that the emotional factor of us scheduling them in our brilliance for homecoming. Could I see something fluky happen in Athens on Saturday? You damn right. Based on what I've seen so far, why wouldn't I? So those are my feelings. We got to get better all the way around. We have got to get better. And there's some players, and I appreciate it, that quite honestly, if they're hurt, man. But where was Nate Frazier? Why aren't we using Dylan Bell more? Yursick, if he comes back on the field again, and and we're in the stage now where these kids are getting paid. So all things are a little bit fair game to me. His ass can't get out there anymore. He just can't. And an offensive line getting their shit handed to them, and I think they did in the first half. They've done it. Right. I'm serious, man. I'm tired of it. If you're supposed to get all butthurt because you don't win the Joe Mora Award, well, step the hell up. I get it. Tate Ratledge is out. There's enough guys that are on there that were highly recruited to play better than we have. So, yeah, I'm irritated, and I'm hurt, and I'm frustrated as a fan.
Damn it. I care about this. This shit's real to me. All right. Well, we had technical difficulties after his rant. He got so fired up that the speaker box blew. But look, yeah, I'm with you. It's $13 million, and Georgia didn't look prepared. So we move forward. I don't know. So you can take – here's what I take away from all of that. Because I even said it during – or the leading up. I didn't know where Georgia stood after the Kentucky game because I didn't know if the worries that we had were legitimate or not. Well, guess what? They were. But here's what I did find out about Georgia. This team is going to fight. This team's going to play all the way through. That's a championship. People talk about culture. People want to shit on Georgia's culture. That's culture. A lot of teams would lay down and quit. So that part, and we can be pissed off. I'm pissed off. Losing to Alabama fucking sucks. We do it way too often, and I hate it. But that is culture. That's championship level teams. So what? And like, did you see what Kirby said after the game?
I didn't listen to I didn't listen to any of it because I didn't want to hear any more bullshit talk.
Well, it's not what he said. Calm down for a damn second. What he said wasn't bullshit because he goes, "I'm proud of you for the way you fought." But how you respond tells me everything that I need to know about this team. How will you respond on Monday in the next game? So let's see how this team responds. If they play well against Auburn, then we'll see where it goes, and it really comes down to Texas because Tennessee and Ole Miss don't scare me. It doesn't matter what this team looks like. They don't scare me. And if we lose to Texas, this team doesn't deserve to be in the playoff. So we'll see where we are in the next 3 weeks, and let's see where it all lies because I don't know. 2023, I had a pretty good feel of this team.
I didn't. I offensively, I didn't. Not for a long time during the year. So I feel the same about the 2023 team that I kind of feel about this one. You're right. I agree with you. I don't know which team's going to show up. You can't just roll the ball out in the Southeastern Conference, assume nothing. Okay. It looked to me like you were assuming you rolled the ball out and the other team waves.
Well, here's the other thing, too. I mean, we can talk about it. We can get into schematics. But, I mean, Alabama was doing things that they haven't done all year. So, Kirby said it, and they weren't prepared. What do you want? I mean, they adjusted. They did things.
What I want is a team that's prepared, that looks like they give a shit. And the coaching staff knows that they're coming into a battle and they look better prepared. That's what I want.
Yeah, that's fair. But again, like, would that game – I don't know, we can do ifs and or buts, but would that game be different if it was at home or a neutral site?
It doesn't matter. It wasn't at home. So,
I don't know. I think
it's like going into Alabama when Stetson did it. We were leading at halftime. Would that game have been different if we played in Athens? Well, fuck yeah, it would have been. But it doesn't matter. It wasn't. So, we take a total whooped ass back to Athens. That's what we do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can either fold or you can keep churning. I think this team's
I'm not ready to fold. I'm pissed off and I'm ready to fight. And you're right. Kirby's right too. Show us what you got when you come out at home. And if you take the same mentality into these other games, and we got a brutal gauntlet of a schedule. We're going to get our shit kicked in. And 3 losses for the team that I've seen so far would not surprise me at all. And unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to look at it, I think 3 losses in this with this schedule in this conference probably gets you in the 12-team playoff. And maybe they get better. I think that is a key of a really good team is, do you improve? And
here's the thing. If they're losing in November, they're not going to improve in December.
I don't know about that.
Here's the thing. You can show improvement from September to November, but you can't improve in 4 weeks. You're just not. You are who you are at that point. There's plenty of games on your resume. You're not going to improve. They should beat Ole Miss. They should beat Tennessee. They should. But again,
according to Vegas, they should have beat Bama.
Yeah, sure. I totally agree with that assessment. We'll see where we are in the next 3 weeks. Like, I know I keep saying it, but if this team is championship level, they'll go into Texas and beat Texas. Out of all the games, and I think I said it in our preview, out of all the games, the Texas game scares me the most because Steve Sarkisian is a damn good offensive coordinator. And Kirby's had a hard time facing a Sarkisian offense. So that scares me for sure. But if this is a championship level team, if we expect national championships, and we do in Georgia, then they should win that game. But again, I don't know. But we'll see. I want to see how this team responds. And Carson Beck, he's got to respond, man. Because he had maybe the worst half of football I've ever seen a Georgia quarterback have in a very long time. He was seeing shit that I don't even know what he was seeing. He was scared out of his mind.
Well, I'm going to tell you, and I don't, again, all the criticism, it's not all at his feet, and I get that. But that we started seeing glimpses of that early in Kentucky, in my opinion. They had him rattled, and they had him, and he was seeing stuff, and he was anticipating pressure in Kentucky that wasn't necessarily valid, and that we saw that carry over in the first half of the Bama game as well. So we need to keep. You're right. We need to keep an eye on that. So he's got to play. All of them got to play better, but he certainly does. It tells me that perhaps he doesn't have that much confidence in his offensive line, and I don't know where that comes from. I don't know. I don't know that. That's a speculation on my part.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'll see. Here's the other thing. This team's a throwing football team. We can't run the ball. We gotta let Carson Beck be Carson Beck. I'm tired of this stuff where we're trying to establish. I know we have to keep it respectable with the run game, but we can't do that. We just can't do it anymore. This team's a throw first offense, and it seems like Kirby and Bobo just refuse to accept that fact. I don't really understand that, especially whenever you're going into the season. I think we both said this team's a throwing offense. I don't understand that at all.
Well, and all we have to go by is when Kirby speaks, and I think he said you got to let the cat play. Well, if that's the case, but if he's seeing ghosts and he's anticipating pressure that's not there, and he looks like like he did in the first half against Bama, I can understand Kirby's hesitation and Bobo's hesitation on letting the cat play. So I don't know, but I think we are when you got supposedly a Heisman Trophy candidate and one of the best pro style quarterbacks coming back, fifth year in the program or whatever. We're probably have more of a passing offense, but you still got to be able to establish. You still got to be able to
establish the run, but like that first half, we should have been throwing more and getting Carson Beck into the rhythm of the game. We weren't doing that, and then all of a sudden we're in a hole. Well, hey, you got to go downfield, and then he starts turning the ball over because he's trying to play hero ball. I mean, what are we doing? So that part of the game was confusing, and I don't understand that.
Well, the other thought of it, we got down so early, and the defense was so flat-footed and just getting the ball ran down their throat. The offensive side of the ball could have said, hey, we got to run the ball, take some time off the clock, and let our guys on defense lick their wounds and get our feces coagulated here. And that could have – I'm just saying that could have been one of the reasons. But, I don't know what the plan was, but like Mike Tyson says, everybody got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. So we got punched in the mouth, and it looked like our plan, if that was our plan, that sucked.
Yeah, it did suck. Totally agree. So I want to see that. And then also Colby Young, you got to fight for the ball whenever and thrown in the end zone like that. He gave up on the ball. That bothered me. Also, Carson, what are you doing on first down with over 40 seconds left? It's okay, man. We got plenty of time, and we had 2 timeouts. Just take care of the ball.
Yeah.
All right. It's okay. We got 4 plays or 3 plays after that first down. That was
and you got, by the way, you got Bobo in his ear up to how long? I mean, that situationally in the game, in the heat of the moment, you gotta as a coach, you gotta be the one saying, hey, this, and this, right? And telling them exactly that.
Yeah.
Where was that? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. So, but again, all things to learn from, all things to move on. It is okay to lose, not often, but it's okay to lose. But what you do with those losses is what defines you. So we'll see how this team plays out. And so now we play Auburn, who is on life support. Auburn is wanting to, the family is wanting to put Hugh Freeze's dick and head on a spike, depending on which way you look at it. So they don't have a quarterback. Last time we played them, they had the perfect game plan against Georgia's defense, which should scare you. But again, here's the thing about Auburn. They're like the third best offense in all of the SEC. But points-wise, dead last. And why is that? They're the number one team in turnovers. It's one of the worst teams I've ever seen. And it's like there's bad luck with turnovers, but there's also like holy shit. I mean, what are they doing? The quarterbacks can't throw. So
they'll look like Heisman Trophy candidates when they come to Athens, man.
Yeah, dude, they are the third third best team in the SEC on offense. Third. But they're so undisciplined, and the red zone offense is terrible. It's dead last. So it's not dead last, but it's down there at the bottom. They got issues. So we'll see what happens. I don't really think there's much to talk about this game. Here's to me the keys, and then you can tell me the keys, and we'll get the hell out of here because there's really not a whole lot to talk about this game. Don't turn the ball over. Get off to a hot start. Tackle, for the love of God. Wrap your guy up. Play disciplined defense, and get the hell out of there. That is this game. Just look good and get out. You have more talent. You have better coaching. You're at home. And the atmosphere in this game is going to be a little flat. It's going to be weird because Georgia, I mean, we got our asses kicked in it. That was a tough, steak to eat. So energy is going to be a little low from the fans.
Well, you're right. So I don't want to interrupt you, but go if you got anything else on the keys of the game and
forced turnovers and tackle. I mean, defense.
This shit's easy.
Shit's easy.
Tackle the man with the ball. Get off the ground.
Yes.
I mean, so I hear you. I getting off to a quick start where I was going to pick up. Whether the fans are flat or not, hey, we're not the ones playing the damn game. The players got to give us a reason to get a little bit more excited. And that is done by getting off to a quick start and showing us that we're crisp on offense. We're executing. We got a game plan that maximizes the strength of the offense, which is supposed to be the quarterback. On defense, we're not caught flat-footed. Hugh Freeze doesn't look like, the Spengali of offense, which he typically does whenever he plays against Kirby Smart. Knock the shit out of it, control the line of scrimmage, tackle them, knock the shit out of them, and keep doing it for 4 friggin' quarters and get the fuck out of there, and let's move on to the next one. All this, the talking and all that, you're right. On paper, there's absolutely no reason why Auburn should even be in this game, but I have no idea what's going to happen on Saturday. I know what should happen, but we'll see.
Yeah, again, I have no idea who's going to show up. And if this team shows up and gets off to a hot start, finishes strong, we move on to Mississippi State, which is basically a bye week, or being honest. And, you
need to assume nothing, my man. That's what we're supposed to be doing that, right? As fans.
Whatever. I will assume something against Mississippi State. I've seen enough. But, just handle your shit. it's really simple. Just handle your shit and play, take care of business, and get the fuck out of here. Auburn's a mess, so I have no idea. I mean, they have good wideouts. Offensive line's decent. Their defense is pretty good. That's the thing that scares me about this game. If we're gonna get into it, the defense scares me, and the offense can just do enough to keep them hanging in this game. And Georgia's offense being inept and Bobo throwing it sideways instead of going in the red zone, throwing it sideways instead of going laterally in the red zone, which drives me nuts. But if those things happen, yeah, Auburn can hang in this game. And then we're going to be talking about what is wrong with Georgia.
Well, and he may not be coaching for his job, but Hugh Freeze knows that his back's against the wall. And I fully anticipate Auburn coming out and putting on a strong performance and him having an excellent game plan against Kirby. I fully expect that.
So, to your point, there's two ways of looking at this game because it's either Auburn's they've had all this shit happen to them so far this season, and they're going to get it all together and they're going to show, what the true mark of this team is. Or all the problems that they've had against Arkansas and Cal and Texas A&M and Oklahoma, now it's all going to show up, and it's going to be really bad. So really it's all dictated by what Georgia team shows up. Is it the second half of Clemson and Alabama that shows up? Because that team's the greatest team of all time. So who shows up? That's an over exaggeration, but if who shows up, if they show up, I feel fine. But again, I don't know who shows up.
Well, now's the time. I mean, you can't be dicking around with teams that you should beat, right? You can't at home. You cannot be in with this schedule. So you're right. If they come out flat, and if this it is a knife fight, and for 4 quarters, my assessment of this season is going to dramatically change.
Yeah,
it's going to change.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And here's the other thing: I think Tennessee might get got by Arkansas this weekend. Ole Miss got caught by Kentucky. Alabama will probably be, for at least a half, be in a fight with Vanderbilt. Don't sleep on Vandy. So
anchor down.
Yeah. And then you got Texas, they looked very beatable against Mississippi State last week. So there are opportunities for this team to improve and say, hey, yeah, we might have had a stumble there in Tuscaloosa. Well, who doesn't? We're going to get our stuff together. We are still one of the best teams in the SEC. And you do that by beating Auburn and beating them by a comfortable score. Dude, the spread is – hold on. I had it pulled up.
I haven't even looked. I have no idea because it doesn't – I mean,
well, whenever I saw it, I was like, there's no way. Let's see. Hold on. Oh, this is the updated number. So Georgia started off with 24.5-point favorite. Now it's down to 22. 22-point favorite. I mean, that's a large spread.
Vegas must know something I haven't seen so far.
Well, I mean, dude, I saw the other day if Georgia and Alabama played again, Georgia would still be favored in Vegas. So Vegas is higher on them than we are.
Man, you play enough times, blind hogs bound to find acre every once in a while. I mean, shit.
I guess so.
I
guess. I don't know. All right. Well, I don't think we have a whole lot to add because we're still kind of pissed. I think both of us are. I'm a little bit more glass half full. It seems like you're more glass half empty right now.
I come from for those that don't know, I grew up with Munson and Vince Dooley talking about playing at night on a flat field. So, and not feeling good about going to Mississippi State because of the cowbells. By the time they kicked off, I didn't even want to play the game. I've been hearing Munson and Dooley talk. So I sort of have that mentality, but in all seriousness, yeah, my expectations have, and kudos to Kirby for doing it. And I do have faith in Kirby. And I know I sound like I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth. But what I saw in Tuscaloosa and what I saw in Kentucky and what I saw in the first half of Clemson, those are not acceptable. That's just not. You want to talk about the standard? Well, that's not the standard.
Okay, and then we'll get to predictions, and then we'll do some ads before. But let me ask you this: do you think the problems that Georgia have are fixable?
Yes. I had to think about. I mean, yeah, for the most part, yes, I think they're fixable. A lot of it's execution, decision making, coaching, being able to hit the long ball and hitting opportunities. So yeah, I mean, yes, I think they're fixable.
Yeah. So okay, so we're both on the same page here. I think they're both fixable issues. Tackling, that's the thing that needs to be fixed. Turnover execution wise, it needs to be fixed. But again, all the issues, and I think this is what we talked about last year with Georgia. So maybe it's the same theme, and maybe that's a problem. But all the issues are fixable. I just, again, like I saw from Kentucky, the problem about the Alabama game is I said all I wanted to see was improvement, right? That's what I said. Whether they win or lose, I just want to see them improve.
Would you call that improvement?
Well, that's the thing. It's a fucking wash because I have no idea, because the second half, it looked like what I expected. Not what I expected, but I saw improvement. But that first half was not improvement. It was regression. So it's a wash. I have no idea. So
it looked like Jake Fromm after he threw the pick six against South Carolina at home. He's regressed ever since then.
Yes. So again, do we stay the same, or God, if we regress anymore, we're fucked. But does it stay the same, or are some of these issues fixed, or looking like they're being fixed? We'll see. Like Kirby said it in this post game, we have guys that are not where they need to be. Well, okay. That means to me, wide receivers, that needs to be fixed. Dom Lovett is not an X receiver. He's a slot. So put him in slot. Dylan Bell, he's a slot guy. That's where the rotation is. Colby Young is an X. Okay, and then here's the other thing. Lawson Lucky needs to be starting. He needs to be the starting guy.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
Oscar Delp is a good blocker. Oscar Delp, as we saw, is not a good pass catcher. Ben Yurcik should be shot dead.
Easy, but he shouldn't be back. He should. He did. We can't afford to have him out there anymore. He's a liability.
Don't shoot him. Euthanize him. And Rydell needs to have more playing time than Ben Yurcik. I'm sorry. I don't care.
It can't be any worse, man.
Stop doing it. Stop. It's actually now getting me really mad. Like, I've been mad about it since Clemson. Stop doing it. The guy stinks. And all I heard this offseason was how good he was. He can't play in the SEC. Stop. It drives me insane. So those things on offense, if there's an improvement, if I see guys playing in spots they need to be playing in, I feel a lot better. But again, if guys aren't playing in the same spots, if we're not tackling well, and the story is the same story, but somehow Georgia escapes because they're more talented than Auburn, that's a problem. And that's what's going to keep causing us to lose. And then right now, everything's hunky-dory in Georgia land right now. We've had 2 national championships. Kirby's done a good job. If we're not in the playoff and things aren't hunky-dory and there's struggle, the worm will turn eventually.
Yes.
And people will be like, I don't understand. Well, this is why. There's a standard now, and you're a victim to your own success.
Yeah.
And it seems like they're not doing things. Yes. They're not doing things to correct them. If they correct them, then we'll be okay. But we'll see. But also stop playing Ben Yurcik. Please. I will call the athletic department and leave a voicemail if they keep playing his ass. I'm dead serious too. I can't stand
I don't see how coaches they have to see the same things we see as fans. There's a liability, man. So
anyway, all right.
Predictions.
Remember, huh?
What, you going to do predictions now or what?
Yeah. So remember to like and subscribe. If you like to hear two angry people yell into a camera, like and subscribe. Comment. Tell us why we're dumb. Tell us why we're right. Tell us anything that's on your mind. I don't know. Also, follow us on Terminus Sports ATL underscore ATL on all social media platforms. Give us a like and comments on there on Twitter or X and TikTok and Instagram. We're really big on TikTok. All right. Now we got that out of the way. Prediction time.
You want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. Look, I have blind faith. I'm from the Church of Kirby. I believe in Kirby. I have since day one. And I bought in from the moment that he was announced as the Georgia head coach. I think all these issues that are plaguing Georgia, the issues that we all talked about, will be fixed. Will they be fixed in one game? Most likely not. Will they be an improvement? Yes, that's what I think. Georgia should respond. This team should be pissed. Auburn's down. We should keep them down. I think and I hope that Georgia wins 31-10. Georgia, and I'll put in a thing. Auburn has 2+ turnovers.
All right.
That's my prediction. Now you.
I'm not going to make a turnover prediction, but we're pretty close.
Just to make myself feel good.
We're pretty close. I wrote it down. 28-10. Georgia is what I figured.
I gotta tell you, if Georgia, I'm sorry to cut you off, but if Georgia, only scores 28, we got issues.
Well, that's my prediction. We'll see if I'm right. Georgia's got to find a playmaker on offense.
Well, that's Dylan Bell.
I agree. That's
Dylan Bell, and we're not using them right, and it's a damn shame.
Totally agree.
Yeah, because you can use him on jet sweeps. He can be that Brock Bowers, jet sweeps, screens, getting linemen out, like that little tunnel screen that we do. Those things that Brock Bowers could do, Bell could do. And then Lovett can take over the slot. And Colby Young can be the guy that goes and gets the ball. And Lawson Lucky can be the tight end. It's really fucking simple. I
don't know how simple it is, but I agree with you. Dylan Bell's got to be more of a factor in this offense. He's too versatile and he's too good. He's too talented. So I just don't know. So if you think it's going to be a problem if we win 28-10, I think that's 28-10. We got to find a playmaker, man.
Maybe this game is that game. All right, give us a pitch to Unishippers, and we're out of here.
Yeah, small. If you're a small, medium-sized company and you have a need for shipping either small packages with, for example, FedEx, UPS, or USPS, we can certainly help you with that. We're a business partner, an extension of UPS's sales arm to the small, medium-sized business sector. Also, when it comes to less than truckload, if you're shipping pallets, we can help you with that. And feel free to reach out to Unishippers Atlanta and ask for Holland Martin.
All right, give a shout out to Holland. Remember to like and subscribe, and hopefully we'll see you on a much more happier, joyous Georgia victory over Auburn. All right, see you on the other side.